That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
Alright guys, we just got done with what may have been the craziest week of football that the NFL will ever see. I mean, going into the week, we were just having to non-stop take players out, put separate players in with all the late scratches, with teams going in there without a quarterback, with games possibly getting canceled. I mean, there were so many moving variables. That's the exact kind of thing that I like in fantasy football, because when we know that there's going to be uncertainty, the people who are going to prevail are the people who do their research and put in the work. So I'm sure that so many of us had fantastic weeks. My matchups went great. But anyway, let's get into our 10 lessons learned from week 12. And guys, before we get into the video, please go down there, please drop a like on the video. And also, the most important thing that I need y'all to do is go to the comment section. Please guys, go roast me. Let me know the dumbest thing that I told you going into week 12. I want to hear it. I want you to tell everybody else how stupid I am as well. So please go down there and voice how dumb I am. Alright, so let's get into it. And our first lesson learned in week 12 is that it looks like Tyreek Hill may have been too low in our rest of season wide receiver rankings. I mean, we had them in there at number 3 overall, but still, going for almost 300 total yards, 3 touchdowns, 13 receptions. He went into the game with only like 740 receiving yards in 2020, yet he came out of the game with over 1,000 total yards, leading the NFL in receiving yards in 2020. I mean, a monstrous performance. And if you had Tyreek Hill in your starting lineup and you somehow managed to lose this week, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, fantasy football just may not be your game, because Tyreek Hill was the definition of a matchup winner in week 12, really carrying fantasy teams on his back. And what's absolutely disgusting about Tyreek Hill is his rest of season schedule is beautiful. I mean, Tyreek Hill has some fantastic matchups coming up. So if you're a team right now without Tyreek Hill, I think that you could be in trouble going into the fantasy football playoffs, unless you have this next player that we're going to talk about, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry going out there. Y'all know this last week, I ranked him as our #1 running back rest of season. Y'all wanted to come out here and give me so much hate. Y'all wanted to come and say that we needed to have Alvin Kamara ahead of him. Y'all wanted to say that we needed to have Dalvin Cook ahead of him. And I was saying no. I mean, Derrick Henry, we know the talent, we know the workload, we know that he has a great schedule going forward. And he came out almost 30 total touches, almost 200 total yards, 3 touchdowns in the first half against a very good Indianapolis Colts defense. I mean, I think that everyone can agree after this performance that Derrick Henry is truly the running back 1 rest of season. And I want you all to go down there, and after you told me how dumb I was with your original comment, I want you to go down there and apologize for giving me that hate this past week, for going out there and saying that Derrick Henry is the #1 running back in fantasy football. And now our next lesson learned, y'all know a running back that I was higher on than anybody coming into 2020. Antonio Gibson is a league winner. Not only did Antonio Gibson go out there on Thursday night and see 25 total touches, did he not only go over 100 yards, did he not only score 3 total touchdowns, but what's most important about this Antonio Gibson game, in my opinion, is we actually saw the usage for Antonio Gibson change a little bit, where now he's getting targeted out of the backfield a little bit more than J.D. McKissic. He's fully transforming into a 3-down running back in Washington. I think that we have to include him as a #1 running back, or at the very least, a high-end running back 2 rest of season. If you went out there and you drafted him at the end of your fantasy football draft, you truly look like you got a league winner right there with DeAndre Swift. All right. So now our next lesson learned is it looks like we were 100% right about Will Fuller. Another thing that I want to come out here and run a victory lap on. This is why it's so important that y'all go down to the comment section and put me in my place. Please let me know how dumb I am, because right now I am on top of the world. Will Fuller coming out on Thanksgiving, 6 receptions, almost 200 total yards, 2 touchdowns, and only 7 targets. I mean, you would look at the end of day fantasy stat line for Will Fuller, and you would just naturally assume that Will Fuller saw anywhere from 12 to 15 targets in that game based on the production that he provided you. But no, Will Fuller going out there and doing this on a very limited workload shows how impressive of a wide receiver that Will Fuller is. And we know that he's playing with one of the best quarterbacks in the entire NFL. And guys, please go look up the Deshaun Watson stats with Bill O'Brien versus without Bill O'Brien, because it is night and day, where Deshaun Watson also looks like he's going to be leading players to their fantasy championships. Here, Will Fuller is clearly a wide receiver one rest of season, as well as Deshaun Watson is skyrocketing back where he belongs. All right, so now our next lesson learned. This is something that I was wrong about. James Robinson looks like it does not matter how bad the offense is. It looks like it does not matter how bad the matchup is. Some running backs are just so talented that they are going to be able to overcome. And that's what we are seeing with James Robinson, getting not only over 20 carries, but also 5 receptions and over 150 total yards, coming away with the touchdown as well. Y'all know that I was saying that James Robinson was an intriguing sell high candidate, and I did not necessarily want to be going out there and paying that running back one price for him. I did say, on the contrary, that what I wanted to do with James Robinson is trade him for an Austin Ekeler or James Robinson and a piece for Derrick Henry. So if you followed that advice, I'm sure you're not sitting too mad at me right now. But anyway, I have to give James Robinson a big apology because it looks like he is truly, truly matchup proof. All right. So now our next lesson learned, Austin Ekeler is back. Austin Ekeler coming out here, getting 11 receptions, 129 total yards, only 13 carries. But like I said coming into the week, guys, I did not care that Austin Ekeler was not going to see every single touch in this offense. I did not care that he was not going to be the feature down running back, because he has the most important role that you're going to ask for, and that is being that pass-catching running back. And what is fantastic about this game is we had not seen Austin Ekeler have this passing game usage with the quarterback outside of Phillip Rivers before, but now that he demonstrated it with Justin Herbert, I think that Austin Ekeler goes right back to being a mid to high-end running back one. All right, so now let's get back on that victory lap circle, and let's talk about Cam Akers. Cam Akers looks like he is fully taking over in Los Angeles. Y'all know I told you 2 weeks ago to sell Darrell Henderson for whatever you could get, because Cam Akers coming back from that injury was going to be the running back one here in Los Angeles. Y'all told me I was stupid. Y'all told me not to talk about Cam Akers anymore as y'all were getting annoyed. Well, guys, Cam Akers coming out here almost having 10 yards per carry, walking away with the touchdown as well, while Darrell Henderson had as many carries as yards. I think clearly Sean McVay and the Los Angeles Rams coaching staff are going to look at the play from both of these running backs and understand what everybody in the flock knew the entire time, that Cam Akers is the better running back, and he is going to continue to expand his role like we've been talking about for a month now. All right, so now our next lesson learned, something that I was wrong about. Looks like you cannot trust the Las Vegas Raiders. I have no idea how many people I told this week to make sure that they were starting Derek Carr, to make sure that they were starting Josh Jacobs. The Las Vegas Raiders, according to Vegas, actually had the 4th highest implied team total this past week, where they were supposed to go out there and put up points against the Atlanta Falcons, a very bad defense. That did not happen for whatever reason. So here with the Raiders, I don't think we can trust them. All right, so now with our next lesson learned, rest in peace, Alvin Kamara as an elite running back in fantasy football. This is what I said last week and got so much hate for it as well. Alvin Kamara just not getting the targets out of the backfield with Taysom Hill. This is back-to-back games with only 1 target for Alvin Kamara. Pretty much both of them coming off some kind of design play for Alvin Kamara. What did I say last week, guys? I said that Taysom Hill was a quarterback that was going to look at his first read. If that first read was not there, he was either going to tuck in and run or he was going to throw it out of bounds. He's not looking to check the ball down to the running back. And very similar to an Austin Ekeler, Alvin Kamara's entire fantasy football value is based on the usage that he has in the receiving game. So here, I still want to say that Alvin Kamara is going to be a low-end running back one, like I said last week, but I don't think that we're going to be able to project him to be a top 5 running back until we get Drew Brees back in here. All right, so now our last lesson learned, Deebo Samuel is coming in, and Deebo Samuel is going to take that wide receiver one role for the San Francisco 49ers. I was actually worried about Deebo Samuel this week because I thought that we were going to have Jalen Ramsey on him. I thought that Jalen Ramsey was going to be able to shut Deebo Samuel down. But what we did not pay enough attention to is the fact that Kyle Shanahan is the head coach for the San Francisco 49ers. And we know that Kyle Shanahan is going to scheme his wide receivers to get open. It does not matter what the defense is giving him. It really is going to be a field day for whoever the wide receiver one is in San Francisco. Now, I will address one thing that I need to talk about. Guys, y'all know in the live stream, when anybody asked me, should I start Nick Chubb this week? I was saying yes. Nick Chubb is still going to be a sell-high running back for us, but he was going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I said he was going to smash this week, and I said people were going to come out here and tell me I was wrong for listing him as a sell-high running back. No, guys, the sentiment still stands. I mean, Kareem Hunt is getting the usage in that backfield where really it's going to limit Nick Chubb unless he has the best matchup you'll ever see against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are missing key defensive players in this matchup. So yeah, Nick Chubb, he is still going to be a low-end running back one, like we've had him this entire time. But he's not going to be that elite option for us. I think this past week was mainly off of the matchup where he was able to go out there and completely smash. Okay, now thank you guys. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. I really hope y'all got something from it. As always, if y'all did, go down there, drop that like, leave a comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Really hope I'll see y'all in the live stream on Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, whenever y'all are watching this. I promise you I will be live that night, and I hope to see you there.